For Heavy, Maggie Krol standing alongside the current lightweight champion Benson Henderson, who will be fighting Frankie Edgar this Saturday at UFC 150. Talk about your training camp. Were you training at the lab for this specifically, or did you change locations for altitude purposes?
Training with the lab, basically, all the same guys, the same coaches, my team, the MMA lab, but we relocated to Flagstaff, Arizona for the last two and a half weeks to get the elevation up there. Flagstaff is actually 7,000 feet, so it's actually above Denver. To get acclimated and make sure the high altitude, we can use that to our advantage. And
so far being in Denver, I think you came over here last week. How are you feeling as far as conditioning?
I feel fine. I feel great. I haven't really felt anything at all. Doing the 2 weeks in Flagstaff, 2.5 weeks in Flagstaff, I think it helped quite a bit,
Your opponent, Frankie Edgar, at the last fight, came to a decision. There were some openings as far as some weaknesses in his game. What are your thoughts on that, and did you work on anything to strengthen areas where you might have lacked?
Yeah, I think Frankie definitely left a few holes open. I left a few holes open. It's just a matter of our coaches. We put together a good game plan. John Crouch, Adam Gillespie, George Garcia, Jared Key, all my guys, Nico Fernandez. Put together a good game plan. It's a matter of me going out there and being able to capitalize and actually, go out there and do what we practiced.
Now, as far as the last fight, once you got your jab in there, it seemed like he left it open for you to get him every time. And you also got him with some leg kicks. He would catch them, but he would leave his face open for punches and elbows. Is that something that you plan on doing again in this fight?
I wouldn't say plan on doing it again. If he lets me do it, I'll do it. If whatever way the fight takes place, however it goes about, I want to be able to capitalize and score and do some damage. I want to be able to beat him up from all those different positions. But I wouldn't say it's one thing that we are focusing on. Hey, you do this, and then yada yada yada. We're hoping to be able to capitalize all different positions.
Now you're defending your title. How does it feel to be the champion, and now you're defending your title? Is it kind of surreal for you?
It's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. I like it. I like the everything that's involved with it. I like the term. I like the being the best. Period. I kind of like that. We got a long ways to go to keep it up and fulfill some of my other long-term goals and stuff. But that's what goals are for.
What are some of your long-term goals? Are you looking past Frankie, and what would you like to see next for you?
That's the thing, I think, with goals. If you have a long-term goal, just because you have a long-term goal doesn't mean exactly you're looking past the guy. You can have a long-term goal to be a Fortune 500 company. Doesn't mean you're looking past your next month, your next 2 months, or your next year, but you have long-term goals. My long-term goal is to be one of the best, be the best of all time. It's a pretty lofty goal. It's a pretty out there goal, but so is being the UFC champ. So is having the belt around your waist. That's a pretty lofty goal. When I first started, Cowboy was the man in the ring of fire and beating everybody up, and I was just, I was just starting out. So it was a very lofty goal for me just to be a UFC champ. It's an even loftier goal to be the greatest of all time. But guess what? That's my goal. That's what I want. It doesn't mean I'm looking past anybody. Every fight that I have before then will be for me accomplishing that goal. But it doesn't mean I'm looking past them at all.
And final question: what do you see for yourself this Saturday night?
I'm not really quite sure. My predictions are always pretty off. Normally, though, I always predict my hand being raised at the end, and that's been the case the past 6 years, except for one time.
Perfect. Thank you so much, and best of luck to you on Saturday.